Hello and welcome into the first ETSN.fm podcast of the 2018 football season. I'm Clint Buckley, managing editor of ETSN.fm, about to begin my 7th year of covering football in East Texas with ETSN. And I'm joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Chandler Vessels. Chandler, I know you're excited to begin year number 2 with us.
Yeah, I mean, got my first taste of East Texas football last year. Those playoff games were really great. I mean, having 4 teams make it to the state championship I don't think that's going to happen again. It could, but it was a lot of teams for my first year, and I was glad to get a taste of Texas football coming from Oklahoma. So I'm ready to get started with year 2.
We usually do one of these a week, but with this being the first week of the season, we thought it'd be best to do 2 of these. So this will be the first of 2 podcasts this week. Tomorrow we'll look at the most intriguing games of week 1. But today we're going to preview the upcoming season as a whole. But before we do all of that, let's do a quick recap of what we saw in 2017, beginning with, you alluded to it earlier, Carthage, Pleasant Grove, and Newton all brought state championships back to East Texas last December. For Carthage, it was their 6th title in 10 years. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, what Scott Surratt's been able to do since taking over in 2007, 6 state titles. He has all the schools' state titles in their history. So he's definitely a legend around Carthage already. I think by the time his career's over, he'll probably be a legend in Texas in general, too.
How about this? He's got more state championships than playoff losses.
It's insane.
He's got 6 state championships, and his playoff record at Carthage is 47-5. So there's that. Pleasant Grove came out of nowhere, kind of on the other end of the spectrum, to finish 16-0 and win their first title in school history. Mainly, Pleasant Grove has been known as a baseball school. They've been to the state baseball tournament several years. Several times in recent years. But for them to win their first football state title was pretty cool. And then Newton last year, they just steamrolled over everybody. Weren't really challenged. First state title since 2005, and have a feeling they're not done yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anybody who's going to be able to challenge them this year. So if I had to guess, they'd get title number 2.
Yep. And then we saw an epic All-East Texas Regional Championship game last year between Longview and Lufkin. We were both at that game. More on that game later and then tomorrow in our Week 1 preview. But also we had some high-profile coaching changes in East Texas. Marcus Gold comes to White House after 5 seasons. The Wildcats were under Adam Cook's direction. Gold was previously at Irving High School in 6A. Tatum, long known as an East Texas power, which has kind of struggled of late, did something interesting. They hired their defensive coordinator, Darren Highlander, to replace Craig Barker, who would now move to offensive coordinator. So they kind of switched roles before the 2018 season. Dangerfield, one of the most storied programs in the entire state. They are tied with Carthage for the most state titles in East Texas history with 6. They hired defensive coordinator Davin Nelson to take over for Michael Waldy, who took an assistant's job in Pearland, a 6A program down in Houston. Robbie Copeland, who we got familiar with last year as the head coach at New Diana, he went back to his native home of Arkansas. He guided New Diana to the regional finals a season ago, I believe for the first time in school history. He was our ETSN Super Team Coach of the Year. So it's going to be kind of odd to see him, not see him on the sidelines in East Texas this year. But Travis Crispin, who was an assistant under Copeland last year, takes over the program. And then lastly, Tenahaw's Craig Horn. After guiding Tenahaw to the state championship game a season ago, has left the program. Greg Jenkins, the team's head basketball coach, is now in charge, which might sound strange to some, but he does have head football coaching experience. Before, he was at Cayuga a few years ago, and he's been at Tenahaw for a while, so he's familiar with the athletes that they have coming through that program. So it doesn't seem like it would be that big of a culture shock for either him or the kids.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to do, for our season preview, we're going to break down what we feel like are going to be our top 5 games of the 2018 season. If you are familiar with our season preview, we did an even longer list of the top 25 games where we kind of broke those down. So if you want to check out that full list, you can at ETSN.fm. Let's start at number 5, Carthage at Henderson. This is the 5th time since 2016 these 2 teams will have met. They have met in the regional finals each of the last 2 years. Of course, they're district teams. Carthage, the outside perception is that they're going to take a step back just because they don't have Keontae Ingram. They don't have DeWaylen Ingram. They don't have D. Bowens. Those great linebackers, Ahmad Brown and Michael Gates, are gone. But, as we said before, 6 out of 10 championships.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against them.
Speaks for itself. But on the other side, Henderson, they've lost 3 games in a row to Carthage, and they may see this as an opportunity for them to take advantage of what is going to be at least a very different Carthage team than they've seen the last couple of years. I mean, there is no Keontae Ingram. I mean, who knows? The guys that may have come in and replace them may be even better. We just don't know yet. But I think Henderson sees this as an opportunity to kind of take revenge on Carthage. So that's number 5. Number 4, can't wait for this one. For fans of Southeast Texas football, Newton at West Orange Stark is number 4.
Yeah, Newton and West Orange Stark kind of together in that golden triangle.
Mm-hmm.
They've combined for like 80 victories in the past 3 seasons. West Orange Stark was the team that lost to Pleasant Grove in the state championship last year. Pleasant Grove snapped their 40-game winning streak, which was previously the longest active winning streak in Texas high school football. So it's not going to be easy for Newton, for sure. I mean, both these teams have a rich football history. Newton's got a lot coming back. West Orange Stark has a few key players. I think they lose a lot more than Newton does, but they've got a few key players coming back from that runner-up team, and the rivalry between these two teams, just being from the same area, both having sustained success over many years.
And they're finally going to play each other.
Yeah, they haven't played each other. I think they played each other in like 2014 maybe was the last time they met.
Yeah, but I mean, it's I don't think they've ever played each other when the programs have been at this level.
Yeah.
Where they've been just, state championship contender worthy. They haven't been at that level since they played. And, you talk about the rivalry. It's been funny, when they released the schedule earlier this year, the Twitter beef that emerged between folks from Newton and the Orange folk. That was pretty funny. So that adds an extra element to that game. Number 3, Pleasant Grove at Carthage. It's the last 2 state champions in Class 4A. It's kind of hard not to put that on this list.
Yeah.
This would have been a great game to see last year. I mean, can you imagine that great Pleasant Grove defense, especially that front, going up against Carthage's offensive line and that running game with Keontae Ingram? That would have been a lot of fun. But, beggars can't be choosers. I mean, you're still getting a state champion versus state champion game the next year. And, for as much as, these teams are losing, this will be, I believe, their 5th game of the season. So they'll have had time to kind of adjust and break in the newcomers. And who knows, by the time that these two teams meet, they might be playing at a playoff level. So looking forward to that one. And the number 2, Lufkin at College Station. Interesting to see these two in the same district. Yeah,
I mean, Lufkin is dropping down from 6A. College Station is moving up from 5A D2.
Mm-hmm.
So College Station won the state championship in 5A D2 last year. So to have these two teams match up in district is going to be a spectacular game. It should probably decide that whoever wins this game is probably going to win that district. I mean, Lufkin has to replace their running back from last year, Isaiah Phillips. He was a big bell cow for him. He
2,000-yard rusher. Yep.
Yeah, he carried them through that Longview Lufkin game that we sort of alluded to earlier.
Yep.
And I mean, their defense especially is going to be the key for them this year. They've got 3 guys on the defensive line who have Division I offers. They've got a couple guys in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
They were great last year at the 6A level, so you can only imagine how good they're going to be after dropping down. So this one should be a really tight contest and a great game.
Then number one game of the entire 2018 football season.
Yeah.
Just a couple days away.
Yeah.
Lufkin at Longview, the season opener. Chandler, you won the right to cover this game.
Yeah.
You beat me 2 out of 3 in rock, paper, scissors. That's how we decide things at ETSN. So you will cover that game Friday night. Interesting note about that game: Fox Sports Southwest is going to be broadcasting it live.
Yeah.
At 8:30, so a little bit later kickoff because I believe there's a game before that. But Lufkin Longview, last time these teams met, it's one heck of a football game.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to live up to that, but I still remember Camden Perry falling back in the end zone to make that touchdown catch, and Longview won by 1 point in that game, in a game that was just back and forth the whole way. So Lufkin's definitely going to have a little bit of motivation after losing like that.
They've had to stew for a long time about that one.
Yeah, luckily they get to get out of their system the first game of the season. These teams always meet the first game of the season. But both these teams have a lot coming back. They don't really lose a lot. I mean, I mentioned Lufkin loses their running back, but Longview's got Haynes King coming back. A lot of skill players. Their defense should be good. So anytime these teams meet, it's usually a close game. It's like Longview has a 40-37 lead in the overall series. So
and that's with 3 straight wins. So
yeah.
it was tied just a few years ago.
Yeah. So I mean, any team can win anytime these teams meet. The fact that it's at Longview might give a little bit of an edge to the Lobos, but I mean, like we said, Lufkin's got their reasons to play hard too. So it should be a great one and definitely the best game of the season to start things off.
All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to reveal our top 5 state title contenders, and we're going to start at number 5, and that's the Carthage Bulldogs, the 2-time defending state champs. 4A Division I might be a little bit down in East Texas this year. I mean, the Holy Trinity of Carthage, Henderson, Kilgore, they're losing a lot of what made them so good last year. But I think they have a pretty good shot of getting through Region 3 if you look at all the other teams. I don't see anybody really challenging that trio for regional supremacy. They might get through Region 4 as well, but and which would mean they would get to this title game. But if you look at Region 2, it's just loaded. Argyle, Stephenville, La Vega, China Spring, Kennedale, Melissa. All of those teams were sensational a year ago, and all of those teams are bringing back quite a bit more than either Carthage, Henderson, or Kilgore. So I would say Carthage at number 5, just based on I think they can get there. I just think it'd be tough for them to win a game against either of those Region 2 competitors. Number 4, Longview.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot coming back from a team that was one field goal away from
the title game.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, Haynes King is back at quarterback after he battled a little bit in the beginning of the year last year for that starting position. He won it, and really, he was just a sophomore last year. He
led them to 10 straight wins when he became the starting quarterback up until that semifinal game.
Yeah, he really came on, especially in those last few playoff games, too. He performed really well. They'll have a healthy running back, Jesse Anderson. Their offensive line should be good with Marcus Williams, who's committed to TCU.
Mm-hmm.
And then along with Anderson, they've got Keelan Williams. He sort of complements him. He's got the speed. Anderson's got the power.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a lot of guys coming back on defense. I think they lose a few defensive linemen is maybe their weak area.
Yeah.
But their secondary should be good. They've got Camden Perry back at receiver. Longview, especially after the way they ended last season, has set themselves up to have high expectations for this year.
Yeah, I think Region 2 and Region 1, I think they can get through either one of those with minimal problems. Region 1, that's if, South Lake Carroll goes to Division 1 and 6A in the playoffs, which I think is a pretty good possibility. But, Longview can get to the championship game. They probably have either Austin Westlake or Cibolo Steel, and either one of those teams could be problematic because those two teams have been in state title games and winning state title games for a while, and Longview's last one was in 1937. And people on Longview, I mean, this, I mean, more than we do. I'm sure it gets tiring, but Longview's had those teams where they've had high expectations and have not lived up to those. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that are just waiting for the shoe to drop this year. There's like Longview, we've got all this talent. We almost made it to the state championship game last year. Things are looking good.
Yeah.
What can go wrong?
I don't know what those other teams look like, but this
team's good.
Yeah. This team looks like one that could do it.
Yep. And it would be great for John King, because as good as he's been, there are people in Longview that just constantly are unhappy with his performance for some unknown reason. I mean, there were other coaches before King got there that didn't win state championships. I mean, It's been since 1937, folks. But I think Longview's got a great chance to at least get to the state championship game. So they're number 4. Number 3, I kind of cheated here. Gilmer, Pleasant Grove. I don't see a whole lot of separation between those two. They're in the same district. They were only separated by 3 points last year when they met. Pleasant Grove loses, a lot of people from their state championship game. This is not a typical Gilmer team that's just loaded with Division I athletes. I mean, they got a couple, and they're breaking in a new quarterback. Aaron Poppy Brown graduated, and he holds several school records at quarterback. So, but if you look at 4A Division II, at the statewide level, I think it's down. I think some teams moved up to Division I, and Gilmer doesn't have to worry about it anymore. I think Melissa is one of those teams. It's playing in Division I. That's the team that eliminated Gilmer last year. West Orange Stark will still be a problem for anyone in 4A Division II, and they're probably going to get back there to state. This would be the 5th year in a row for them. But as far as Region 2 and Region 1 are concerned, I think Gilbert or Pleasant Grove, whichever team kind of separates itself from one another, I think can get to the state championship game, and we'll see. I mean,
yeah,
we'll see what happens in a championship game setting. Pleasant Grove was able to handle West Orange Stark last year, and Gilmer beat them 4 years ago. West Orange Stark's first trip to the state championship game in this little 4-year run that they've gone on. So Gilmer, Pleasant Grove at 3. Number 2, Lufkin.
Yeah, I mean, like we said before, Lufkin is dropping down from 6A, so that, I mean, in 6A they were 1 point away from going to the state semifinals last year, so they return a lot, so they project as a team that could win the state championship after dropping down should really help them. They lose their running back, but they should have someone to fill his spot. They've got guys like that over the years. They bring back their quarterback. They've got several receivers back. Jalen Polk, who has Division I offers.
Mm-hmm. Only a junior.
Yeah. Their defense is going to be probably the best in East Texas, one of the best in the state.
Probably, I would venture to guess there aren't too many 5A defenses in the entire state that would be better than Lufkin, because they were one of 6A's best last year.
Yeah, so scoring on them is not going to be easy, but Region 2 and 5A has a lot of other solid teams.
Yes.
A couple other East Texas teams. John Tyler moves down from 6A. They missed the playoffs last year, but I don't think that'll hold true this year. They bring back a lot of guys from their team last year, and, of course, same situation as Lufkin. Dropping down should help them out. Texas High brings back their quarterback, who was injured last year, Colton Clack, who's committed to Arkansas State. Their offense should be good. And then we mentioned College Station, who Lufkin is in the same district with. They're going to have to contend with them. Teams like Mesquite Poteet, Lancaster. There's just a long list of teams that Lufkin is going to have to face if it wants to get to that state championship.
I think whoever wins Region 2, I think it's safe to assume that they're probably going to win state, at least be the favorite to win state. It won't be easy to get through the region, but I think Lufkin is equipped to do so.
For sure.
Number 1, this is...
No surprise.
This is duh.
We said it at the beginning of the podcast.
Newton in 3A Division II. This is Newton's to lose. They were dominant last year. They bring back most of their impact guys, including 5 Division I recruits. Yeah. Which is, I mean, that's just ridiculous for a 3A Division II team to have 5 D1 guys at least. I mean, they could have a few more pop up here in the coming months, but they have a tough non-district schedule. We mentioned games against West Orange Stark. They also have Gilmer and Silsbee on that non-district slate. Yeah. But I'd be surprised if after that anyone gives them a game. I mean, nobody in district is on their level.
And even those games, like I would still pick Newton to win each of those games, probably.
Probably, yes. I mean, West Orange Stark and Gilmer, I wouldn't be surprised if
it wouldn't be shocking, but
I think Newton's got the Gilmer game at home and West Orange Stark's on the road. So I mean it's but I mean the point is nobody's stopping Newton from winning a state championship this year. At least not in our opinion.
Yeah. Not in 3AD2.
No. I even tried looking for a team that could give them a game, and I just couldn't find one. I mean, I tried to be as honest as I could, and did the research, and I just don't see any. I just don't see anyone out there. So it would be a huge upset if Newton weren't able to repeat as 3A Division II state champs. Well, that's about as condensed a season preview that we can fit into one podcast. For more in-depth content, you can check out ETSN.fm right now. We've got tons of preview material up on the site. We have full district previews for 26 districts.
That's a lot of districts.
It is. A lot of work went into that as well. Top 10 area polls. We have, like we said earlier, our full list of the top 25 games of 2018, the breakdowns and all of those, and the 2018 preseason East Texas Super Team, plus much, much more. You can follow along with us all season long through our various social media platforms. Twitter is our most popular. I'm at Clint Buckley. You're at Chandler Vessels. Or you can follow the main account at ETSN.fm. Hope you enjoyed our season preview edition of the ETSN podcast. Don't forget to come back tomorrow. We'll preview week 1. For Chandler Vessels, I'm Clint Buckley.